government of Nigeria has assured its citizens not to be worried over the newly released travel advisory by the UK government, saying Nigeria will not be on the red list. Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Fasi Swaib, disclosed this at a weekly update of the COVID-19 vaccination rollout in Abuja. He said in furtherance to the preparation for the travel guidelines, they have had discussions with officials of the UK government, hence Nigeria have no issues as the currently used vaccine were approved by the UK government. The UK travel advisory, which would take effect from Monday, October 4, 2021, has posed huge concern on Nigerians as most citizens begin to wonder how this would affect them. This is why the federal government is nailed to holding diplomatic discussions on the interests of Nigerians regarding the travel regulation. While speaking, the Primary Healthcare Executive Director, Dr. Fasi Swaib, appealed to eligible Nigerians to take advantage of the COVID-19 rollout for proper vaccination and avoid being restricted by developed countries.
To clarify that the guidance provided by the UK government is that they would want to simplify the classification of countries from green, amber, and red to just red and green lists. Therefore, countries that are currently on the amber list may fall into either of these two categories. That is to say, either red or green lists. We have had preliminary discussions with officials of the UK government. Without prejudice to the information yet to be released, we have been assured that Nigeria will maintain the status quo. UK is doing a phased approach to deal with the high demand and volume of people arriving in their country. It is important to stress that this phased approach is still under review by their government, and they will be providing updates regularly. For Nigeria at the moment, there is no change in the guidelines for entry of Nigerians into the UK. A UK citizen on entry into Nigeria, regardless of the vaccination status, is made to do a PCR test and isolate for 7 days. And same applies for Nigerians entering the UK. You are also required to do a PCR test and isolate for a few days. This is called the principle of reciprocity in diplomatic circles.
Meanwhile, the news making round on Nigerians obtaining the COVID-19 vaccination cards without receiving the COVID-19 vaccine by unscrupulous persons as a result of meeting the global mandate, the federal government, through the Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Fasi Swaib, has strongly condemned the fraudulent acts, urging those attempting such acts to desist henceforth, adding that the Presidential Steering Committee and the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency is currently collaborating with security agencies aimed at investigating the culprits and bring the people, as possessing vaccination cards without receiving the vaccine is criminal and punishable by law.
Made by unscrupulous persons to procure the COVID-19 vaccination cards without receiving the COVID-19 vaccines. NPHCDA and the Presidential Steering Committee strongly condemns these fraudulent attempts and is urging those attempting such acts to desist henceforth. The ongoing COVID-19 vaccination and the vaccination cards are totally free of charge at all designated COVID-19 vaccination sites across the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT. Possession of vaccination cards without receiving the vaccine is criminal and punishable by the law. The NPHCDA is collaborating with the state security, the ICPC, and other law enforcement agencies to investigate and prosecute any persons and their accomplices attempting to fraudulently acquire COVID-19 vaccination cards without.
We have no place for corruption. And I tell you that in the first phase, I think we also had a breakthrough that we in the Primary Healthcare Board, especially the Primary Healthcare Board, had to also do a sting operation. And we did not only have the culprit apprehended, but we had recordings of the transaction. So the person involved or the people involved, it may be a syndicate, will never go on part.
However, the World Health Organization representative, Dr. Walter Molumbo, in his speech, appreciated Nigerians' effort to prevent, detect, and respond to COVID-19, adding that it is imperative for countries to recall and respect the principles of the international health regulations, noting that the WHO does not recommend making proof of COVID-19 vaccine as a mandatory condition for entry or exit from a country. According to him, vaccines must be approved by WHO and be of suitable quality and universally available before they can be considered as a prerequisite for travel.
July 2nd, 2021, WHO updated its guidance on travel, and these have not changed. WHO does not recommend making proof of COVID-19 vaccination a mandatory condition for entry to or exit from a country. But countries can consider lifting testing and or quarantine requirement for international travelers who have been fully vaccinated. Although people who are fully vaccinated or those who were previously infected may still be able to be reinfected and transmit the virus, growing evidence shows that this risk is substantially lowered, so they present a lowered risk to others in the country they are entering. These individuals are at lower risk of developing disease and consequently do not impose an increased strain on health system in the destination country. However, WHO's recommendation that entry shouldn't be restricted to those who are fully vaccinated still stand. Proof of vaccination shouldn't be a prerequisite for travel and may only deepen inequities, particularly while the vaccine continues to be in such short supply. No region or country should face more restrictions because they are unable to access vaccine. We urge all countries to recall and respect the principle of the international health regulations that vaccine must be approved by WHO and be of suitable quality and universally available before they can be considered as a prerequisite for travel. If someone is fully vaccinated with any of the vaccine with WHO emergency use listing, they should be treated in the same way, regardless of which vaccine they receive. WHO recommends that the same rules should apply for all individuals who have had an EUL vaccine, with no difference in restriction depending on the product. The Emergency Committee of WHO under the International Health Regulation has been clear that WHO should not be recommending a requirement for vaccination as a condition of travel, and particularly related to the scarcity of vaccines and the fact that there is such an inequity in distribution and uncertainties regarding the extent to which vaccination prevents infection or transmission of the disease.
Also speaking, representative of UNICEF, Dr. Guti Gagan, while congratulating Nigeria for the successful rollout of the phase 2 vaccination, sued for the completion of the dosage in order to guarantee full protection of the disease.
The need to complete the vaccination, and as I always say, at the beginning of the phase 2 we had 1.1 million people who were due for their second dose of vaccination, but still nearly 700,000 of them are still due for that, and it will be important for them to complete the course of vaccination to ensure full protection and for their own safety. And
it was revealed that as of 20th September 2021, a total of 4,487,367 eligible persons have received their first dose of COVID-19 vaccine. This is made up of 2,863,422 persons who have taken the first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine and 1,623,945 persons who have taken the first dose of the Moderna vaccine. So far, 1,783,676 eligible persons have been fully vaccinated, of which 1,781,840 is with the AstraZeneca vaccine, while 1,836 persons have had Moderna vaccine. Vincent Okushi, Quality Television.